Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you an action horror film, Dead Rising, Part 2, Endgame. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins right after the events of the first film. The military has complete control over the containment efforts against the ongoing outbreak in the town of East Mission. However, the infection is still raging on, so they barricade the city and postpone evacuation. Thousands of people are trapped within the quarantine walls. The general's microchip implantation program for all infected citizens is successful. However, since the military is now tracking all chip people, many people have been arrested and subsequently disappeared without a trace of their zombified hormones. Conspiracy theories are now circulating online after Jordan also disappeared. She's a camerawoman who exposed the treachery of the military in the first episode. 2 years after the outbreak, the town of East Mission is now a barren wasteland. The zombies are now emaciated since they've run out of humans to feed on. But Chase, the intrepid reporter from the previous episode, is still alive and fighting to reveal the truth to the public. An informant tells him that the military is conducting secret experiments on several hostages inside the town. Chase wants to film evidence of this, so he sneaks inside the city and enters the building where the military transport took the hostages. Working with Chase is Jill, a news producer, and Sandra, a skilled hacker who's also his on and off girlfriend. They are staying inside a car near the building Chase entered. Chase films everything inside, including the arrival of the general, who's working with the trafficker supplying the humans for the secret experiments, run by a scientist named Brand. The general is not happy with the trafficker's performance, since his activities have caught people's attention. The trafficker's goons catch Chase's informant and drag him inside the building. The general commands the trafficker to execute him because he's seen the general already. The trafficker complies and slits the informant's throat. Unbeknownst to them, Chase is recording everything. Back in the car, Sandra urges Chase to get out of the building as soon as possible. He runs through the hallway and enters a large room filled with blue plastic bags. He bumps into one of them and discovers that there are bodies of zombies inside. One of them is still alive, so Chase kills him with a chair. Chase runs out of the building and hides from the soldiers pursuing him by entering a dark alley. However, a zombie senses his smelly ass. Chase fights the zombie and pushes him into a splintered pipe. He reunites with Sandra and Jill, and they drive away. Chase shows the footage of the general to his boss, who refuses to air the video in fear that the military will retaliate. His editor encourages him to develop the story further before they can go public with the story. He thinks that Chase is reckless, and he even mentions Jordan's disappearance. Chase still believes that he will find Jordan, and this is the reason why he's so hell-bent on exposing the general. Afterward, Jill and Chase go to a nearby bar to drown their sorrows. Chase shares that he regrets leaving Jordan alone that day. He also adds it's frustrating that the pharmaceutical company responsible for the outbreak and the general who tricked them all got away with everything. Chase goes to the men's restroom where he meets a whistleblower who was a former executive at the pharmaceutical company. He tells Chase that his life is in danger because the military wants him captured. Sure enough, soldiers are now stepping inside the bar and looking for Chase. Together, Chase and the whistleblower escape the bar. The whistleblower knows all about the general's laboratory experiments, conducted by him in partnership with the pharmaceutical company. He has been using the microchips produced by the pharmaceutical company to track down and kidnap infected people for the laboratory. But his endgame is to eradicate all the infected people in the United States by overloading their implanted microchips with doses of the zombie vaccine, ensuring that the virus is eradicated as well. The whistleblower further reveals that the microchips will be activated tomorrow morning through the servers located in the secret military base inside the town. He intends to stop it by going there himself, and Chase knows how to secretly get into the city. Later that night, the general meets with the CEO of the pharmaceutical company. She knows that Chase has footage of the general, and she is wary of how that could affect her company's reputation. She tells the general that she wants to pull out of their project, but he replies that it's already too late and he's not stopping for her. Chase formulates a plan. He gets Jill and Sandra, and they all go to his friend, a slightly crazy tactician with access to lots of guns. Sandra is reluctant to go along with the plan, but she's microchipped as well, so they only have 24 hours left to save her shitty life. Chase pulls out a map of the town and announces to the others that the safest route inside would be to go under the quarantine walls. They need to get across the city alive to reach the server farm located on the 4th floor of an abandoned military hospital. Once inside, the whistleblower will use his access code to get to the servers and disable them once for all. Afterward, Chase's friend will rescue them with his chopper. The whistleblower hands Sandra a thumb drive with all the information on the server system, so she can create malware that will freeze the servers. The general discovers the whistleblower's identity. He is fuming because the whistleblower used to work for the CEO. The CEO explains that the whistleblower also knows that the company and the military were responsible for the first outbreak in the town. She really doesn't want to go ahead with the plan, but the general is prepared to accomplish it by any means necessary, even if he and the CEO will be exposed. Meanwhile, Chase asks Jill to stay behind, so no matter what happens to him, there is someone outside the city who will let the world know the real story. They enter the city through a dark underground tunnel. However, several meters after, they discover a decapitated body lying on the floor. Soldiers enter the friend's apartment. Jill hides and hears one soldier issue a kill order for Chase and the others. She then approaches the editor and asks him to confirm her story when the military comes for her. Jill plans on drawing the military's attention to her and feeding them a fake story so they won't focus on Chase. The group continues to go down the tunnel. Chase smells the scent of a rotting corpse, and then his friend gets caught in a trap set by the trafficker and his goons. Chase lies to the trafficker and pretends that he also works for the general, but the trafficker doesn't believe his smelly man shit. So Chase resorts to overturning a nearby long table and taking on the trafficker's team one by one. Meanwhile, the friend is singled out by one of the goons and beaten with a baseball bat while he's still tied upside down. He manages to grab the bat and incapacitate the goon. He then helps Chase finish off the other goons. Sandra stabs the trafficker just as a tank in the room explodes. The explosion gets all their gear, but luckily, she still has the thumb drive in her pocket. They return to the tunnel and stumble upon a horde of zombies. However, these zombies look different. They're stronger and faster. One of them bites the friend in the neck. With the whistleblower's help, Chase gets the zombie off of his friend and kills it. The group evades the zombies and takes shelter inside a room. The friend comments that it seems like the zombies have evolved since they are much faster than before. Chase adds that he saw a number tattooed on the zombie, and he surmises that these new and improved zombies were deliberately enhanced. The whistleblower blames Chase for choosing that route, and the group starts arguing. But eventually, Chase reminds them why they went down there in the first place. The others cool their heads and hormones, and they all make up. Since they lost their weapons in the explosion, they decide to cobble together the makeshift ones from the tools they found inside the room. They also inject the friend with the zombie vaccine to stop him from turning. Jill approaches the CEO with a proposal. She can either broadcast the story that her company is aiding the military in mass genocide, or she can protect the CEO by saying that the military stole the company's microchip technology for their own agenda. The CEO refuses and discredits the whistleblower by saying that he's mentally unstable. Jill urges her to reconsider the proposal for an alliance. Later on, the CEO meets with her head of security. She has her own company's interests in mind. If the military kills off all infected people, then the company's profits will tank. She orders her security to release a new strain of the virus once the general has triggered all microchips to overdose, so her company will still generate money. The group reaches the hospital basement. However, they are overrun by zombies. The friend turns into a zombie, and Chase is forced to kill him. He reaches the hospital stairwell, but can no longer reach Sandra and the whistleblower, who both got separated from him because of the zombies. Jill meets with the editor once again. This time, he brings the CEO security, who betrayed her because he doesn't want a new virus strain released to the world. The security gives Jill evidence, proving the company's shady dealings with the military. He also explains that Rand is the head of research for the pharmaceutical company. As part of the agreement between the company and the military, the latter will supply human test subjects for Rand to experiment on as he works on developing the military's program. But secretly, he's also been working on enhancing the zombies and creating new virus strains for the company. He's inside the military hospital in the town, conducting his experiments. This is why the zombies that Chase and the others have been encountering are all faster and stronger. Meanwhile, Chase is cornered by zombies, but is rescued by Jordan, who turns out to still be alive after all. He apologizes for not succeeding in exposing her story, but he reasons that he was discredited and branded as a conspiracy theorist when he tried to go after the general 2 years before. Jordan doesn't say anything, but she has a companion who explains that they've been tortured and experimented upon by Rand for the past 2 years. Jordan is traumatized by what she endured, but she gathers her resolve and leads the team through the hospital and up to the server room. They hold the tech officer hostage and commandeer the server room. Sandra inserts the thumb drive with the malware in the server computer, but someone from the outside is preventing her. Meanwhile, Jordan goes off on her own to search for Rand and kill him. She makes it inside the lab, but Rand surprises her by electrocuting her. Sandra threatens the tech officer and pressures him to reveal how to get root access to the server. The general has caught on to them and is doing everything he can to hamper Sandra's efforts. Chase notices that Jordan is gone, so he follows after her. He finds Jordan strapped to a table by Rand. The doctor had just injected her with a new virus strain. Chase points a gun at Rand, but he threatens him that Jordan will die if he dies, since she needs the cure he has. He reasons that everything he did was to find a cure that will save humanity from the virus. This specific cure he's working on will give immortality to whoever takes it. Suddenly, the whistleblower arrives and shoots Rand point blank. It turns out his real agenda is to steal the $1 trillion worth of the mortality cure from Rand. After leaving with the cure, he presses a button to release the enhanced zombies from their cells. Chase finds the antidote to the virus strain injected into Jordan. Zombies are now starting to converge in the server room. The tech officer fights them with a gun, but gets overrun by the horde. Sandra finishes uploading the malware and aborting the microchip program. She gets inside an elevator just in time before the zombies reach her. Chase decimates several zombies to get the antidote injected into Jordan. He is successful in curing her, and they both leave the lab. Sandra gets to the roof where the chopper is waiting. They are followed by Chase and Jordan. The general orders military airplanes to bomb the hospital. The helicopter makes it out in time, just as the bombs hit. Hours later, the whistleblower is walking through the tunnels out of the city when he's shot by soldiers. The movie ends with the whistleblower dying with his whistleblowing life, and the immortality cure being lost forever. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.